Stop whatever you're doing right now, because in the next 60 seconds, you might learn something that could save your brain from a slow, silent death. I'm talking about dementia, the disease that doesn't just kill people, it erases them while they're still alive, while their families watch. And here's the terrifying part. Most people are doing the exact things that fuel it every single day without knowing. What I'm about to share comes from a Harvard researcher who has spent over 25 years inside the brain labs of one of the most respected institutions on Earth. 5 hidden causes, 5 everyday triggers, 5 silent killers that mainstream doctors rarely warn you about. Because they're not glamorous, not profitable, and not something you can fix with a pill. But you can fix them at home. Starting tonight. Now, before I continue, I need you to understand something. By the year 2050, the number of people living with dementia is expected to nearly triple. Triple. That's not a guess. That's a Harvard-cited projection. And here's what shocked me when I first read the report. The youngest case of cognitive decline they studied was 38 years old. 38. Most people think dementia is something that happens to grandparents. It's not. It begins quietly. In your 30s, in your 40s, long before the first forgotten name, long before the first missed turn on a familiar road, long before the moment your loved one looks at you and hesitates. By the time the symptoms appear, the damage has been happening for 20 years. 20 years of silent rotting inside the brain. And nobody told you. Now, here's where it gets darker. The Harvard researcher I'm referencing, for confidentiality, I'll just call him the doctor, published findings that point to 5 everyday factors quietly destroying neurons in millions of people right now. Some of these will surprise you. One of them is sitting on your nightstand. Another is hiding inside your mouth. And the number one cause? It's literally in the air you're breathing while you watch this video. Yes, the air. I'll explain that one in full detail at the end. And trust me, it's the one I want you to share with everyone you love. Because once you hear it, you can't unhear it. But we're not jumping to number 1 yet. We're going to count down from number 5. Each one backed by Harvard research. Each one connected to real people, real families, real loss. And each one, but most importantly, reversible. Starting today. Before we begin, ask yourself this. When was the last time you actually felt mentally sharp? Truly clear? Not foggy? Not tired? Not off? If you have to think hard to remember, you're already on the path, but that path can be reversed. The brain is the only organ that can rewire itself at any age, even after damage, even after years of neglect. Scientists call it neuroplasticity, and the doctor's research proves it's stronger than anyone imagined. The question is, will you do something about it before it's too late? Stay with me. Don't skip ahead. Don't pause. Because what you're going to hear next, starting with cause number 5, is something almost nobody talks about, and it's hiding in your bedroom. Cause number 5. It's sitting right next to your bed, your pillow. No, not the pillow itself. What happens on it, or rather, what doesn't? Sleep. But not just any sleep. Deep sleep. The kind most adults haven't experienced properly in years. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Every single night while you're in deep sleep, your brain activates a hidden cleaning system. Scientists call it the glymphatic system. Think of it like a tiny dishwasher inside your skull. While you sleep, your brain cells shrink by up to 60%. Yes, 60. To let fluid wash through and rinse out the toxic proteins that build up during the day. The most dangerous of those proteins? Beta amyloid. The same sticky garbage found inside the brains of every single Alzheimer's patient ever studied at Harvard. Now here's the horror. If you don't reach deep sleep, the dishwasher never turns on. The garbage stays. Night after night, year after year, it piles up, hardens, forms plaques, and quietly your neurons begin to die. One Harvard study found that just one night of poor sleep increased beta amyloid in the brain by 5%. One night. Now imagine 10 years of bad sleep. Imagine 20. The doctor called it the slow flood that no one sees. Let me tell you about Margaret, 61, retired teacher, sharp her whole life. She walked into the clinic complaining of fog, forgetting names, losing her keys 3 times a day. Her husband was terrified. The diagnosis wasn't early Alzheimer's. It was 30 years of broken sleep, late night TV, wine before bed, phone on the nightstand, waking at 3 a.m. and scrolling. Her dishwasher had been off for 3 decades. Here's the fix, and write this down. Stop eating 2 hours before bed. Kill all blue light 45 minutes before sleep. Drop your bedroom to 65 degrees. And this is the one that changed Margaret's life. Get sunlight on your eyes within 30 minutes of waking up. It resets your brain's sleep clock more powerfully than any pill on earth. 4 months later, her fog was gone. Her dishwasher was running again. Now, because number 4, and this one, I'll warn you, is the one that breaks hearts. Because it doesn't look like a cause of dementia. It looks like everyday life. Loneliness, yes. Loneliness. A Harvard project called the Grant Study has followed the same group of men for over 80 years, the longest study of human life ever conducted. And the number one predictor of mental decline in old age was not diet, not exercise, not even genetics. It was social isolation. The doctor put it like this: a lonely brain forgets how to think. Here's the science. When you have rich social interaction, conversation, eye contact, laughter, debate, your brain fires across multiple networks at once. Language, memory, emotion, prediction, all lighting up like a Christmas tree. But when you're alone for long stretches, those networks go dark. And brain regions that go dark shrink. MRI scans of chronically lonely adults show measurable shrinkage in the hippocampus, the memory center, within just 2 years. Robert was 72, widower, loving children, but they lived far away. He told the doctor, "I haven't had a real conversation in 11 months. 11 months. His memory scores had dropped 22% in that single year. The fix? 2 simple things. 1. Call someone you love every single day. 5 minutes minimum. 2. Leave the house once a day. A cafe, a market, a walk where you see other faces. Robert started both. 8 months later, his scores had climbed back up. But here's the truth. Sleep and loneliness are just the beginning. Because the next 2 causes, you're consuming them right now. One is on your plate, the other is hiding inside your mouth, and what they're doing to your brain is far worse than anything you've heard so far. Because number 3, it's on your plate 3 times a day, maybe more, and it's something your doctor probably told you was perfectly fine. Sugar, but not the obvious kind. Not the candy bar, not the soda. I'm talking about the hidden sugar, the kind buried inside bread, yogurt, sauces, breakfast cereal, granola bars, salad dressing, healthy smoothies, and, the worst offender, anything labeled low fat. The doctor's research uncovered something that's now being whispered in neurology departments around the world. Alzheimer's disease may actually be type 3 diabetes. Let that sink in. The same disease that wrecks the body through high blood sugar may be wrecking the brain in the exact same way. Here's how it works. Every time your blood sugar spikes, and it spikes more than you realize, your brain's neurons become resistant to insulin. And without insulin, those neurons can't absorb glucose. Glucose is the fuel that powers thought, memory, decision-making, everything. So what happens? The neurons starve. They starve while you're eating. Researchers at Brown University and Harvard-affiliated institutions found that the brains of Alzheimer's patients show severe insulin resistance, sometimes worse than the pancreas of a type 2 diabetic. Their brains were literally diabetic. And the kicker? You don't need to be overweight for this to happen. You don't need to be diabetic. You don't even need to feel sick. The damage happens silently, for years, for decades. Linda was 54, slim, active, yoga 3 times a week. She drank a healthy green smoothie every morning, packed with banana, mango, honey, and oat milk. She had no idea she was spiking her blood sugar harder than a man eating a donut. Her memory tests at 54 matched those of women 15 years older. When the doctor showed her the numbers, she cried. But within 6 months of cutting hidden sugar, her cognitive scores improved by 31%. 31% in 6 months. Here's your fix. Read every label. If sugar, under any of its 61 disguises like maltose, dextrose, fructose, syrup, concentrate, or evaporated cane juice, appears in the first 3 ingredients, put it back. Kill all liquid sugar. No juice, no flavored coffee, no smoothies with 3 fruits. And eat your protein before your carbs at every meal. That single trick can drop your blood sugar spike by up to 75%. Linda's brain came back. Yours can too. But none of it compares to cause number 2. Because cause number 2 isn't something you eat, it's something living inside you right now. Cause number 2 is in your mouth. Bacteria. Specifically, a microscopic monster called Porphyromonas gingivalis. The same bacteria that causes gum disease. For years, scientists assumed it stayed in your mouth. It doesn't. In 2019, a landmark study published in the journal Science Advances dropped a bomb on the medical world. Researchers found this exact bacteria and the toxic enzymes it produces, called gingipoins, inside the brains of 96% of deceased Alzheimer's patients they examined. 96%. Read that again. This bacteria doesn't just sit in your gums. It crawls through inflamed gum tissue, into the bloodstream, across the blood-brain barrier, and once inside your brain, it begins destroying neurons and triggering the exact inflammation that creates Alzheimer's plaques. Every time your gums bleed when you brush, that's an open door. Every time you skip flossing, you're feeding the monster. The doctor saw it firsthand with a patient named David. 68. Lifelong smoker, never flossed. Came in with early memory loss and severely inflamed gums. Within 4 years, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. The bacteria had been climbing the ladder for 30 years. Here's the fix, and please take this seriously. Floss every single night. Use a fluoride or hydroxyapatite toothpaste. Get a professional cleaning every 6 months. And if your gums bleed when you brush, that is a medical emergency for your brain. Not your mouth. Your brain. Now we've reached the edge. 5 hours of broken sleep, 4 months of loneliness, 3 teaspoons of hidden sugar, 2 strains of brain-eating bacteria. But because number one is the one the doctor said he wishes he could put on a billboard in every city on earth. Because you can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't escape it. And it's killing more brains than all 4 previous causes combined. Cause number 1. The invisible killer. Take a deep breath. Right now. Through your nose. Hold it for a second, then let it out slowly. You just inhaled tens of thousands of microscopic particles. So small your nose couldn't catch them. So small your lungs couldn't filter them. So small they slipped straight through every defense your body has and went directly into your brain. They're called PM 2.5. Fine particulate matter. Each particle is less than 2.5 micrometers wide, 30 times smaller than the width of a single human hair. You've been breathing them your whole life, from traffic, from factories, from wildfires, from wood-burning stoves, from cooking on a gas stove indoors, from the candle on your dinner table, from the dust kicked up on a windy afternoon. You can't see them. You can't smell them. You can't avoid them. And the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health has been quietly publishing the most terrifying research on this topic for over a decade. Their findings? People living in areas with high PM 2.5 exposure have a dramatically increased risk of developing dementia. In one massive study, every small uptick in fine particulate matter in the air was linked to a measurable rise in dementia diagnoses across millions of people, across decades, across every income bracket, across every age. Here's what these particles actually do. They enter through your nose. They travel up the olfactory nerve, the only nerve in your body with a direct highway into the brain. Your nose, connecting outside air to brain tissue, with no filter in between. Once inside, the particles trigger something called neuroinflammation. Imagine tiny shards of glass slicing through brain tissue 24 hours a day for 40, 50, 60 years. Your immune cells rush in, they attack the particles. But they also attack your neurons in the chaos. Brain cells die, plaques form, memory shrinks. The doctor called this the silent fire burning behind your eyes. And here is the part that haunted me most. A patient named Eleanor, 76, a beautiful woman, lifelong non-smoker, ate clean, walked every day, loved her grandchildren more than anything in this world. She lived in the same apartment for 41 years, 2 blocks from a freeway. By the time she came to the clinic, she could no longer remember her grandchildren's names. She would look at her own daughter and say, "Excuse me, who are you?" Her daughter would leave the room and cry in the hallway. Every visit. When the doctor analyzed Eleanor's brain scans, he found something he had only seen in industrial workers: black particulate deposits scattered through her hippocampus and frontal lobe. She had been breathing exhaust fumes for 41 years. She didn't smoke a single cigarette in her life, but the highway smoked for her. Now here is what you need to do. Tonight, tomorrow, for the rest of your life. 1. Buy a HEPA air purifier for your bedroom. You spend a third of your life in that room. Make those 8 hours count. A good purifier can drop indoor PM 2.5 by 90% overnight. 2. Never burn anything indoors. No candles, no incense, no wood stoves. If you cook with gas, open a window every single time. Gas stoves can release more PM 2.5 in 10 minutes of cooking than some highways do in an hour. 3. Check the air quality index in your city every morning. If it's above 100, wear a properly fitted N95 mask outdoors. I know it sounds extreme. Eleanor wishes she had. 4. Fill your home and office with plants. Snake plants, peace lilies, pothos. They are nature's silent filters. 5. If you live near a highway, a factory, or a busy road, start planning your exit. I'm not exaggerating. The doctor told me, if I could give every patient one prescription, it would be cleaner air. The damage is not yet done. The brain heals when the assault stops, but the assault has to stop. Because every breath you take, right now while you're watching this, is either healing your brain or burying it. And most people choose to bury it without ever knowing. So let's bring it home. Take a breath, a clean, slow breath, because you've just learned what 99% of the population will never know until it's too late. 5 hidden causes of dementia, 5 quiet thieves, 5 enemies you can finally name, see, and defeat. Starting today. Number 5, as broken sleep. The night your brain's dishwasher stopped running. Number 4, loneliness. The silent shrinking of your memory center, one quiet day at a time. Number 3, hidden sugar. The starvation of neurons inside a body that thinks it's eating clean. Number 2, the bacteria in your mouth climbing the ladder into your brain. And number 1, the invisible particles in the air slipping past every defense you have. 5 enemies, 5 fixes. Now here is the truth the doctor wanted me to leave you with, and it's the most important sentence in this entire video. You are not powerless. You never were. The brain is the most resilient organ in the human body. More resilient than the heart. More resilient than the liver. More resilient than scientists believed possible just 20 years ago. It can rewire itself. It can rebuild itself. It can even grow new neurons, where in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, through a process called neurogenesis. but it can only do that if you stop the damage. Margaret got her dishwasher back at 61. Robert came back from 11 months of silence at 72. Linda regained 31% of her cognitive function at 54. David's story is harder because he started too late. Don't be David. Start tonight. Floss your teeth. Open a window. Throw away the cereal. Call someone you love. Plug in an air purifier. Put your phone in another room and sleep like your brain depends on it. Because it does. This is not about fear. This is about control. You now hold knowledge that most doctors don't share. Knowledge that most pharmaceutical companies don't profit from. Knowledge that could save not just your mind, but the minds of everyone you love. Send this video to your parents, to your spouse, to your best friend, to the person whose memory is starting to slip, and they don't want to admit it yet. You might be saving their life. And if this video gave you even one piece of information you didn't know, please do me a favor, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to push this video out to more people who desperately need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel, because next week I'm releasing the doctor's most controversial breakdown yet. The 5 everyday foods that silently destroy your heart, the same way these 5 causes destroy your brain. You don't want to miss it. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 5 causes shocked you the most? Was it the broken sleep, the loneliness, the hidden sugar, the bacteria in your mouth, or the invisible particles in the air? Type the number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the comments. I read every single one. And I respond to as many as I can, because we're not just watching a video here, we're building a community of people who refuse to let their brains rot in silence. So take care of your brain. It's the only one you'll ever have. And the future you, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, will look back on this exact moment, the moment you decided to listen and say, thank you. Now go. Go protect your mind. I'll see you in the next video.